Was Ignaz Semmelweis crazy or not? Ignaz Semmelweis was a Hungarian doctor in Vienna in the early 1800s when he found something odd about the death rates of women who gave birth at home and those who gave birth in the hospital. Women whose deliveries were supervised by doctors were twice as likely to die from childbed fever than women whose deliveries were supervised by midwives, even though the two groups had similar rates of disease and overall health prior to giving birth. Based on Semmelweis's account, it appeared as though some entity or event was killing these mothers, but he had no idea what it was. Family life. In 1818, Ignaz Semmelweis was born in the Taban neighborhood of Buda, now Budapest, Hungary, in the Kingdom of Hungary, Austrian Empire. He was the fifth child of the prosperous grocer family of Joseph Semmelweis and Therese Müller. He was granted citizenship in Buda in 1806 and opened a wholesale business in that same year. The company was named Semmelweisen Elefanten, at the White Elephant, in the Meindl House, today's Semmelweis Museum of Medical History, located at 123 Aprodi Street, Budapest. He was a wealthy man by 1810 and married Therese Müller, daughter of the coach builder Philipp Müller, and they had 5 children. Work on puerperal fever, childbed fever, mortality. In 1846, Semmelweis was appointed the first assistant to Professor Johann Klein at the first obstetric clinic of the Vienna General Hospital. His duties included examining all patients every morning for the professor's rounds, supervising difficult deliveries, teaching students of obstetrics, and keeping the records. All over Europe, maternity facilities were established to address problems of infanticide of illegitimate children. They provided free care for infants, which attracted the attention of unprivileged women, including prostitutes. These women would undergo training from the doctors and midwives in exchange for the free services. In the first clinic at the Vienna hospital, about 10% of pregnant women died of puerperal fever, later known as childbed fever. The second clinic's rates were significantly lower, and generally an average of 4% patients who visited the clinic. 2 clinics admitted patients on alternate days, but many patients wanted to be admitted to the second clinic because of the stigma of the first clinic. In this scenario, Ignaz Semmelweis described women on their knees begging not to be admitted to the first clinic. Some women also preferred to give birth in streets, because by pretending to have given sudden birth on the way to the hospital, they would still qualify for childcare benefits without having been admitted to the clinic. Semmelweis was puzzled as to why puerperal fever was rare among the women who gave birth on the streets. Why were the ones who delivered outside the clinic able to avoid these pernicious, unknown endemic influences? The breakthrough. Semmelweis's breakthrough happened in 1847 when his friend Jakob Koletschka was accidentally stabbed with a student's scalpel during a post-mortem examination. Koletka's autopsy revealed a pathology similar to that of the women who died from puerperal fever. As soon as Semmelweis identified a possible correlation between cadaveric contamination and puerperal fever, he attempted to explain it. From the autopsy room, he suggested medical students carry cadaverous particles on their hands to the patients that they have examined in the first obstetrical clinic. Student midwives in the second clinic, who did not perform autopsies and did not have any contact with corpses, had a much lower mortality rate. At the same time, the germ theory of disease was not widely accepted, which led Semmelweis to hypothesize that cadaverous material caused childbed fever. He implemented a hand-washing policy with a solution of chlorinated lime to be used in between autopsies and his examination of patients. He did this because he found that this product was the best way to remove the stench of the infected autopsy tissue, and to therefore also destroy any so-called poisonous or contaminating agents that might be transferred through this material. In April 1847, the mortality rate in the first clinic declined by 90%, matching the rate in the second clinic. Since hand-washing was instituted in mid-May, the death rate decreased by 2.2% in June, 1.2% in July, and 1.9% in August. Death. After his book was published, Semmelweis's mental health quickly deteriorated, and he suffered from intense depression. Semmelweis did not spend a lot of time with his family during the last few years of his life, which greatly affected their well-being. During that year, his wife and some of his colleagues conspired to have Semmelweis committed to an insane asylum in Vienna, Austria. Semmelweis tried to leave the insane asylum in August 1865 and was beaten and chained up. After 2 weeks at the asylum, he died on 13th of August 1865 in Vienna, Austria. During the autopsy, it was revealed that he had been killed by blood poisoning from a wound sustained during the beating. Don't forget to like, comment down below, and subscribe!